Hi party people, I'm Terry, the Prairie Priestess. Just here to give a fancy little reading. So if this is for you, I really want you to consider white flowers, apple trees, looking out into the distance. I'm seeing dragons, I'm seeing money associated with it, like specifically like, I think it's the Chinese, like the dollars that have like the square within them. Also symbolizing like abundance. There's ants, there's bumblebees that are just going crazy right now. Everything's kind of getting into full bloom or approaching that phase, or at least well on its way in germination. So you might be underneath the soil like a seed, but you haven't quite popped up yet. Anything like that can be an indicator. 333, 444, 5, 6, 7, 12, 14, 18, yeah, anything like that. So yeah, I have a few decks here. We'll just kind of go through this together. Oh, hello. I feel like, okay, there's lots to be said right now, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to send like a little incantation just to say, hey, welcome to the space, spirit team. Yeah, I hope you can like see me shuffling these cards. I'm gonna just attempt these guys again. Like, what are we? Okay, I don't know. I keep like throwing things, but I've done a lot of like breath work and stuff today, so I feel a lot more in flow and like connected with my body. So I'm just gonna trust that versus like, oh no, it's a flick of the wrist. It's not, it couldn't possibly be real kind of thing, right? So there's a lot of cards here. There is like a quarter of the deck that just popped out. Okay, I'm gonna start with these three because they're the ones that came out first, because I really want to understand like the theme of today's message. Okay, so first of all, we have let it go in reverse, release the past, forgive, soften, move forward. So, screen grab. Just kidding. No, anyway. So yeah, it can be really cheeky and silly, and like it doesn't always have to be this like super like dredge up every horrible thought or every horrible feeling you've ever experienced. Like it can be cheeky, it can be fun, it can be like a little, ooh, like I don't need this anymore. Chuck away. Goodbye. Teehee. Moving on. Like there can be lightness to this letting go. It doesn't have to always be okay. And then there's bees running around like everywhere right now. So if I get interrupted, I promise it's just, you know, 'tis the season. That entire tree completely buzzing with activity. So pretty cool. But the overarching lesson that you're here to embody right now is this letting go piece. So with that, like you can kind of see how she's almost like parting the ocean. Like it's very much within your control. And I know that's not something that everybody always like wants to hear and face and do, but when you face this tide within yourself, these churning emotions that just keep rising up and kind of overtaking your life without you even realizing, like as the subconscious, like when you shine a light on it, when you notice that and you let that in, it allows you to be able to part that chaos and allow something better in, which is full consciousness. It is recognition and understanding and seeing things in a different light. There have been a couple situations in my life where I was so embarrassed and so filled with shame that was brought on by myself and others when I was asking for opinions. But of course, at that stage of my life, none of us had the answers. It was the blind leading the blind. And so within that, there was actually a lot of shame for a situation that took place when you're just trying to find something. And so a couple of years ago, when I was overseas, I finally had the courage to review this, to journal it. And it was very potent because it showed me that I could indeed part the waves. And it actually made me realize I was a victim in that. And I'm not saying that in the sense of I need to take on that identity and that's all I am now. Like, not at all. Like, if anything, it gives you the power to take back your control of your life. And that can be really heavy. So I know there's a lot of lightness that I had earlier, but like it can be really daunting to go within and shine a light on the places that you have kept dark for so long. But the more that you integrate and the more that you work with your shadow self, the more that you shine a light on the areas that do not feel safe or secure or filled with shame, riddled with self-doubt, all of these things, like that is where the clarity and the power is going to come back into your life. Like it's going to shine like this light. Like it's such an intense card, but it's so beautiful too, because it's, again, that power is in your hands and you have the capability and the strength and the safety to do so now. So this, if you needed permission, which you don't, but if you were looking for it, this is the time. Apology. So that was a release. I definitely do feel like maybe there's allergies or something that you're experiencing. I do notice at this time, since I have returned to Canada, that like I do have a lot of allergies that I didn't have before. So maybe there's an adjustment in your environment that will come from this, or essentially like just help you move on. And then the second two cards that came up was the Wishing Well, Unexpected Gifts, Kindness, and Karmic Jewels, and the Sacred Well, Replenishment, Self-Care, Giving from a Place of Plenty. So, both very beautiful cards as well. Just give you a moment to, I just want to get the text in there so you can see it. Maybe this will, apologize if it's not grabbing, but yeah. So, yeah, like I think from you taking the time to fully shine a light on this experience, whatever it was that feels like it's holding you back, whether you know of it or not, like maybe you just have to sit with yourself and meditate and think like, what is causing me so much distress internally? Like, what is holding me back? That first situation that comes up, that's typically what it is. And that's what needs to be addressed and looked at in more detail and be examined and let go and released. So from that, what these cards are telling me is that you are going to experience some beautiful messages, miracles, experiences from this, because you've taken the time to honor yourself in that state that you were in and where you're at now and how you're in a safe space and you're healing. This is the healing process and in process. But it's also giving yourself that space to fully appreciate who you are and what you've been through. I just keep thinking, like, I see this woman that's like in tears. Like, I know this woman in the picture is very like serene and calm because she's pouring from a full cup versus an empty one. But I think for you, it's about the honoring in this process that's going to be the most influential to letting everything go, is recognizing that you did the best you could with what you had in that moment, whether it be the knowledge that you had at that time, the feelings, the need to stay safe is what I keep thinking. So it could be really tough. It could be related to childhood. It can be at any point where you just all of a sudden feel disconnected from the rest of your body and soul. But from this soul retrieval, from this, even this type of shadow work that feels very daunting, please don't fear that. Like, I know it's a lot easier said than done, and it took me many years to even get to the point where I could feel like I could review the situation I had to. It probably took a good 8 years, but it doesn't have to be that long. You can do it right now, and there would be nothing that's holding you back. You have the safe space, or you can make the safe space right away. You don't need to wait. There doesn't need to be any sort of permission needed in order to do this work to help heal yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody about it. You don't have to confirm. You don't have to reach out to any more readings. You don't even need this one. You just need to listen to what's in here. So when I see this woman and the sacred well, this replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty, and then the wishing well, to me, it gives this sense of like, this will help open yourself up, especially your heart chakra, especially your womb space. Like, I'm not saying you're going to get pregnant tomorrow. If that's something that you want to do, like, obviously go through your healthcare provider and all these things. But like, going within and shining a light on that darkness is going to help bring in these gifts and these blessings that are going to come in. It's like a reward for doing the hard thing. And it can come in many forms. It doesn't have to be financial. It doesn't have to be physical. Like, it can be this enriching sense of self that gives you the direction and the peace that you need in order to move forward in your life and to create a safe space for yourself and others that you may not have been able to have in the past. And when you're able to replenish, more comes in for you too, because you're healing as well as healing others. It's a very reciprocal thing. Apologize, I keep getting sniffles and stuff, but like everything's really fine, so that might be a sign for you as well. So okay, now I have the whole stack from earlier. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Okay, the last one is down, so I'll just leave that there. Okay, so the well maidens: kindness, respect, reverence, compassion. To me, this gives collective, and this gives like community in that sense. Like it's like friendships. It's knowing that you're not alone in this. Like, you can find community, whether it's in person or online. Like, there are so many ways to go out there. And one thing that I've been exploring again has been anonymity online, to be able to feel safe enough to express your opinion without attachment. Like, it's very interesting what kind of world opens up when you're able to speak freely without having an identity attached, to allow you to look at things from a more unbiased perspective. But in this case, I think it's also about like being authentically you. Like, normally I wouldn't like talk about the anonymity thing. Like, I'm always like, no, like, always be yourself, always be true to yourself. Like, that has always been something that I've firmly believed in. Like, being authentic is what brings your people in. But it might be something to consider. Like, don't go overboard, obviously, and start creating fake stories and all these different Reddit posts and all these things. But like, it can be a safe space for you to get this opinion without having names attached and all these different things or identifiers that could be traced back to you, like 222. So that's something to consider. But with this, like, you being yourself, like, I also kind of think like a leadership role, like what you learn and what you gain from this experience is something that you can take forward with you to help other people. Again, it's like you've created that sacred well of that wellness that happened, that healing space that was created when you looked within. But this is like your soul tribe coming in. So this is something that can happen once you decide to go through this process. And I know it's going to feel really, really confronting, or it can feel so daunting. And obviously, like, breathe through it. Take the time you need. Like, you know, but this is kind of like Spirit saying, hey, like, there is like light at the end of the tunnel. There is positives ahead. And again, like, when you learn from this experience, these are the people that are going to come in, that are going to understand your guidance, and that are going to feel collectively like, you know, I understand this person, and this person understands me. They understand what I've been through. And that's a very powerful thing. That's what creates hope. That's what creates like companionship and camaraderie and reverence and all of these things that help other people within themselves. So by you doing the healing work yourself, you're going to help others too. Yeah. Like, there's lots of benefits to this. Like, you get the community, you get the inner peace, you get the unexpected wishes that you hadn't even dreamed possible before. They're just going to turn up, you know? It's just those types of things. And one way to be more in that abundant space is through gratitude. So I have thank you, gratitude, appreciating what's sustaining you, and metamorphosis, embracing transformation. Things are now different. So yeah, I like to think like this is kind of saying like the worst is over. Like, I know transformation, it can happen in so many layers and so many levels. Like, it can be at a cellular level, and then it just sort of like emanates outwards, which I think is kind of what you're working on. It's definitely an internal journey versus like a big extravagant external one. Sorry, I keep like burping and releasing and all of these different things, so I do apologize. Like, I think it, again, that's all part of the releasing process. So when when this all does go down, like when you do decide to finally forgive yourself and let go, it's going to open up a lot of space, right? So let the good things come to you. And again, like, this is all part of this transformation. This to me also confirms that, like, this is something you were always supposed to experience. This was something that you were always supposed to embrace, and this was a part of your path no matter what. But it comes down to you. You have to do that first, and then all the blessings come after. But the one way to become magnetic again is through saying your thank yous, for being grateful for everything from the sunlight to the air that enters your lungs, your family or your friends or both, your ability to be transported places, be grateful for the bugs that just know what they're doing, in order to keep the ecosystem going, such as the bees, like the clouds, even the material things, like whatever helps you, that's what you need to focus on. So like, start with a gratitude list every morning or night. I did it for years, where I would journal like 3 things at the end of my day that would help rewire my subconscious a little bit, so it would work at night because it's the last thing I'm thinking of, and then it kind of carries on the next day, right? So it's like, it just kind of helps build that momentum, which is again part of transformation. So when you're thinking about being in this grateful state, it's only going to bring more in. It might take a little bit to shake out the cobwebs, and you might feel a lot of stirring of negativity, but just know that that's a past version of you now that's like trying to protect you, to keep you small. But it's not even your voice. It most of the time it's somebody else's that's been implanted, and it's time to remove that. It's like weeding your garden. Time to take that out, because it's not worth it anymore. So that will help you with your gratitude and your manifestations in turn, and help you find your community and all these things. Like, just by emanating this gratitude, whether you realize it or not, it's gonna help. Every time you think about it, I want you to list 3 things. Every time you're like, oh, I should work on that gratitude list, 3 things right now. 1, 2, 3. Sunlight, air in my lungs, the ability to touch grass this time of year, done. Stuff like that. Like, it can be the simplest things, and yet they can be the most profound. Okay. So, semi-last cards. I forget what the term is. Okay, hi. Apologies for that. I had to move because we all of a sudden were watering the garden, so had to move. So if that's something, just to kind of piggyback off of what we were just talking about, like, maybe that can be significant for you too, is like, once you do dive in, it will help grow your garden. Like, this is an easy way to cleanse, to feel again, and all these different things. Like, it's just gonna water in that abundance, which is really cool. So, okay. Okay, these are the old cards. Sorry, that took me a second. And then I had these 4 cards. So I don't know which ones you saw at first, if I was able to show that, but so these are the cards. But the first one I want to talk about is beneath the surface. What's really driving you? True motives, breaking free. Now, this is what I was talking about beforehand with being able to go beyond and go within. It is about looking at that darkness and not being fearful of it, because that is also a part of you. Something in religion and other kind of organized things, they operate from this space of fear, because that is what is able to control you through morals and all these different things. Yes, there is good morals and all these things, but the difference is that they want to cut you off from this. And that is where shame and all these different things come in to subconsciously rule you without them having to lift a finger, because the inner turmoil has been created. The inner confusion and the inner shame and the inner everything like that, like, the work is done in their eyes. They've done this, therefore you're set, because you're able to police yourself now. So I'm not trying to say this as like a like a complete tinfoil hat person, like, not at all, but it is like a reason why I think like organized religion is very much a double-edged sword. But when it comes to oppression and different things, like, this is their main tool, right? So this could be religious trauma for some of you. Sorry, I know this is like really deep, even though we started quite light. But yeah, within this, it's like you are able to go within. There are tools out there, but it's more about you carving your own path so that you can move forward and then lead others. So Sorry, lots of bugs today. So yeah, that's what I'm getting from this, is like, this is confirmation that like you are going to be safe. But yes, you can use this as a visualization where you think about like you're in the Arctic, the North or South Pole. I keep thinking north, but you are on all these icebergs and all these blocks, and like kind of like the polar bears, like traversing that type of terrain. And then you have the courage to dive underneath as if you were the polar bear, and you're seeking food. You're seeking this nourishment within yourself that you have not had access to before. You are choosing to go deeper than you ever have before because you are in need of this, and your soul knows that. And so I want you to envision yourself leaping off and down into the darkness. And I want you to lead it to what is subconsciously leading your mind. What is running in the background that you have allowed for so long but will not tolerate any longer? What situations, what comments, what anything like that is coming to mind when you go into the depths here? What is underneath the ice that deserves to be acknowledged? I'm not saying that you have to catch it and eat it, but I am saying that in order to find this nourishment, you have to look within and you have to look deep. So you might be sifting through a lot before you get to that scrumptious meal, but this is how you do it. So I want you to practice that meditation. I want you to ground first and then work from there. But this is what I'm talking about, is going within. So there's that. Next, the water carrier. What really matters, reflect, reprioritize. So when you come out of that meditation, like you can just literally like play some YouTube like meditation music for like an hour or whatever, and then spend 5 minutes, even if that's all it takes. But like dedicate whatever amount of time to that meditation as the polar bear, and then come back to the surface when you're done, and then return to life. And then you're going to journal about what came up, if you can. If you just need to sit with yourself and be in the emotions, that's completely fine too. Sometimes it's just about awareness. Sometimes it's about feeling the feelings so that they come up to be released. Like your body will signal to you what is to come, and what is being purged. It can be shaking, it can be screaming, it can be crying, it can be yawning, it can be confusion, it can be all of these different things. But like it's going to show you what you need to see, and you need to trust that. You don't try to second guess it. But when it comes to this card, when you journal, you're going to reflect on what came up, and that's going to give you better guidance as to how to move forward in your life too. Like I think within it, like maybe spirit will give you nuggets of information, like maybe when you resurface as a polar bear, and you've caught this fish, all of a sudden like you found that light in the darkness, and you come up and you just like rip into it. Like that can be the moment where you can, reflect on those moments, and ask spirit, like ask the great polar bear, like what do I do from here? How do I carry myself? What do I do with this information? And again, write that down as well. Like sit with that. This is a really cool meditation coming up actually. So yeah, and then you're going to reprioritize, and you're going to redirect your life in a way that matters, and you're going to take action on what the polar bear spirit says. That is going to be a key. Even if you don't like it, please try it. Like you will be so surprised, because all of these teachers are aspects of you, are aspects of self that are here to teach you and to encourage you to do better. And like they want the best for you, because that is healing in motion. And you are them and they are you. You are one. That is so potent and powerful and all of these things. So don't discount that. So really reflect and really figure out the teeny tiny ways that you can adjust your life. Or maybe it's a huge grandiose thing that you need to blow up your entire life in order to move forward. Whatever that is, trust that. Like obviously sit with it if it's a big decision or whatever, but like if all of a sudden you're like, I need to move, I need to quit my job, and I can't think about anything else, you've already known for a while then at that point. But if it's something more like on a smaller scale, like, oh, I need to adjust what I'm eating. So let's say I need to implement more salmon, or maybe I need to cut back on refined sugar. Maybe I need to really focus on stuff that isn't meat and potatoes. Like, that's currently what I'm going through, is like taking that step of like, you know, taking control of what you're eating and really consciously being aware of it. What's going in, what's going out, all of that. So yeah, so this is going to be a very important phase, because this is kind of like the reflection, but also part of the integration process of doing the things. Like, this is creating the action steps, like journaling, and then the action steps that Spirit has told you to do. So that's what I say about that. And that's it. I'm just kidding. Okay, last 3 cards, but the 2 that were up and visible were the Water Oracle, psychic abilities, acting on visions, it's destined, and into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, facing your fears. Yeah. No, I think this summarizes essentially like what I was saying before, is that you are going to gain so much from this in terms of healing yourself, but also being a teacher for others, being the oracle in this case. And then like from doing this, from diving in, from going into the unknown, not sure what's going on the other side, but you are doing it. Having the courage to face your fears will allow these abilities to come forward. Maybe you've already felt that you have certain gifts, but you have had no idea how to access them, or things have just come up that have been, you know, there's never been an explanation, but you know they're there. Like, I think this is a very significant thing. I really do feel like I'm talking to other healers. I'm talking to the women in particular, or, you know, it doesn't matter if you're like, again, we both hold masculine and feminine energy, but I really do feel like in this life, you may be a woman that's like, you are in this timeline to share. You are in this timeline to act on what has been shown to you, and you have been given gifts that you are meant to embody, embrace, and reveal. Yeah, that feels really potent. Like, yeah, like, because I keep seeing this. It's almost like with these cards too, it's like you're going down and then it's coming up. It's like this reciprocal, like, loop, like you're diving in to come up on the surface again, and it's just back and forth. And that is a very prominent cycle within the healer's journey, the hero's journey, the heroine's journey. It's, you're constantly going deeper than you have before, but it's going to reveal to you this as one of the gifts that we talked about earlier. It's not just friendships, but the person that I'm talking to right now, like, you are a healer, and it is time to embrace that through this process, through this meditation in particular. And you're not meant to be scared of it. This is just something that naturally is happening. This has always been a part of your timeline. Yes, that stuff happened, but it happened for a reason. It might have been the most aggressive, uncomfortable scenario ever, and I really am sorry that that has happened to you. But there are lessons in the medicine that you are here to uncover as you go deep and as you dive in, and that is what you're here to share. And the presentation of it, sorry, there's all this black stuff. The presentation of it is through your abilities that are going to awaken because of this work. And the reason that you're even here is because you feel that. Like, this isn't a big shock, but it is in the sense of like, Spirit is really pushing you to do so now. Like, this is no more like, oh, like, teehee, I can move on, like, you know, oh, it was just a shadow, or it was just a thought, or whatever. Like, now it's like, no, like, this is here for a reason. It's all for a reason. It is time to stop running away from it. It's time to go within. And the last card, follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. So if that doesn't clarify it, I don't know what will. This just shows that, like, it might start out as this tiny puddle, but as you go upstream, it's just going to continue on and on and on and build until you're in the ocean, right? It starts small, but then it gets bigger. There's more momentum as time goes on. It builds. There's building here. So yeah, as you trust yourself, as you give yourself the time of day to go through these meditations, through these processes, it will lead to something more. It can feel like a lot, but it's because this is a lifetime of work. This is not a season. This is not a day. Rome was not built in a day. Like, you need to remember that. And I'm the same way, where I feel daunted by the tasks at hand. But Spirit is here to remind you that, like, when you dedicate yourself for a little bit every day, it adds up. even if you don't see the progress, it does add up. It does give the ripple effect. It does showcase. Sorry, I feel like I have a bug in my eye now. So, goodness me, all these little gnats and stuff. Yeah, so that's what I get out of that, is like, there's nothing to fear with this. Like, this is only meant for your highest good and the good of all too. Like, you have a gift and it is time to share it. Not be fearful, just go with it. So that is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much for hanging out, and apologies for the change of scenery, but I think you like it. I think I like it. And you know, you got what you needed out of it. I got what I needed, so this is great. So thank you so much, and I hope that helps you a lot.